Hi, welcome to Marriage Affairs with Pastor X, and it's good to be back again and be talking to you guys at this moment. So today I want to talk about choices, the choices that we make, and how these choices affect us as people, as individuals, but also affect us in our day-to-day running of our lives, how they affect our relationships, and how they affect our jobs, our businesses, and any other relationship that we engage in. Okay, so the first thing that I want to put out there and be clear on is the fact that you are a choice from God. God chose you so that you can be on this earth. You are a choice from God. So out of everyone that God could put on this earth at this particular time, He chose you. Okay, so you are a choice from God, and you are a choice to God Himself. So He chose you. Let's keep that in mind, that you are a chosen one amongst a lot. You are a chosen one to even be listening to this message right now. You are a choice to your parents, whether it was a one-night stand, whether you are a product of rape, whether you are a product of infidelity, but you are a choice. Somebody made a choice that resulted in you being born. So somebody made a decision. So they made a choice that resulted into a certain decision, and you were born. So to your parents, you were a choice, whether it was a bad choice or a good choice. But remember, that choice is still linked to a bigger choice, that God chose you. You are what you are because of the choices that you have made in your life. So you are a sum of the choices that you have made in life. You are where you are now because of the choices you made yesterday, last week, last month, last year, last decade, but you are a product of the choices that you've made. So every single day you build your life by the choices that you make, and not making a choice is also a choice. So you cannot say you are on a safe side because you are not making a choice. So every single day, every single hour, every single minute, you are presented with choices. That's what makes everyone to be different from the other, because of the choices that we make and choices that we've made. So in other words, where you are now is a choice, like I said, but for you to remain where you are, you need to make a choice. Same applies. If you want to move from where you are, you need to make a choice around that as well. And every stage of life that you are in, every part of your life that you are in, you are faced with a choice to make. So you can never shy away from making a choice. So we build our lives from the smallest to the biggest of choices that we make, from the easy choices to make to the hardest choices that we make. You are your choices more than you are the conditions around you. So all of us were faced with the same conditions. So all of us were faced with the same and similar circumstances. But what differentiates us is the choices that we make in responding to those choices and those circumstances that build us to be who we're supposed to be. So you stop living the minute you decide not to make choices in the midst of choices to make. Okay, so you stop living, but it doesn't mean that you haven't made a choice. So circumstances will be there. So you can either make a choice to act on it, or you can make a choice to cry over it, or you can make a choice to build by it. So no matter what you do, you're still making a choice. So no matter how much you cry, how much you complain, no one will ever make a choice for you. A person can guide you. As a therapist, I can give you options, ideas, but I can never make a choice for you. So you need to make your own choices. So it doesn't matter how much you love a person. Your mother cannot make choices for you. Your pastor cannot make choices for you. Your spouse cannot make choices for you. Hence, it becomes difficult now when you are dealing with someone who doesn't know how to make the right choices in the midst of several options that they have. So no one can make a choice for you. At the end, whichever side of the fence that you are standing on, or which side of the fence you fall into, you will still be forced to make choices. Okay, so if you think the grass is greener on the other side, when you get on the other side, you're still going to have to make choices, and those choices will determine if that grass remains green or it changes to brown. And if you stay this side where it's not green, you can make choices of making it to be more greener for you in order for you to enjoy it. So anywhere you go, by making a choice, that choice builds up to even more choices to make. So either way, you don't stop making choices. The more choices you make, the stronger a person you become. Because every choice that you make, it grows you into a matured person, a person that can learn from the experiences of making those choices. And the more you make choices, is the more your choices improve. Is the more you start now appreciating even the choices that you make. So maturity starts at a point of accepting your choices and their consequences. So we need to know that every choice that you make, it's going to take you somewhere, and where it takes you, there will be some consequences that you will need to face, whether it's consequences of success, or it's consequences of failure, or it's consequences of accountability. But one way or the other, you will have to make the choices. And the more choices you make is the more matured you become. Right? Some choices you will be proud of, let's face it. Some choices you're going to regret them. But even those that you regret were still necessary. Were still necessary because you cannot grow as a person only from the good choices. Not to say make bad choices, but bad choices, they teach you equally as the good choices that you make. The bad choices and the good choices, they both teach you something. They both move you to a point where you will get to appreciate life differently. You'll get to appreciate yourself differently. Some of the choices that we make, good or bad, they make even the people around us to start appreciating, acknowledging us differently than they have been. So whether you make good choices or bad choices, whether you regret them or you celebrate them, you're still going to have to face certain consequences of the choices that you've made. Amongst the choices that you make, I want to say to you, make a choice to choose God. You will never regret that. Make a choice to choose life in that order. Choose God, a choice to choose life, meaning that you need, above everything, to appreciate the fact that you are alive. Make the best of this life that we have, because it's going to come to an end. So you choose God in order for you to get wisdom and courage to face this world and to make the right choices, perhaps. And then you choose life, meaning that regardless of what happens around you, you're going to make the best and the most of life. You need to choose happiness. Happiness is something that you build. It's something that you create for yourself. It doesn't come from anyone else. No one can give you happiness. Even God cannot give you happiness if you are not happy yourself. So you need to choose being happy. Now, if happiness is a choice, it means that sometimes you will be faced with bad situations, and in those bad situations, you still need to choose to be happy. Right? And you need to make a choice of being positive in all situations, because negativity doesn't do anything, doesn't grow anything in you, but it takes away from you. It steals a lot from you. So you need to choose to be positive. You need to choose you before choosing anyone else. So when you have chosen God, and then you chose life, and then you chose to be happy, and you chose to be positive, then take yourself and put yourself at the center of all those things. Choose you. Then when you choose yourself, it's easy now to see who is in your life for a good reason, and what lesson those that are not there for a good reason are there for. And you can be able now to categorize the people that you have in your life, because you have chosen yourself and you know what is good for you. You know what you want. You know what you want to achieve. It is your life after all. And after everything else is said and done, it is your choices. You cannot sit here and say, no, it's because of so-and-so. You cannot sit here and say, no, I'm doing this because of that. You need to do everything that you are doing because it's a choice that you feel it's good to make at that particular time. If it makes you unhappy, change it. You cannot sit and be crying over something that makes you unhappy, or you cannot continue being unhappy in a situation and a circumstance that you have power over, because you have a choice to accept or push it back, decline it, or accept it, approve it. You have a choice to do that. So you cannot be sitting here and blaming circumstances, because those circumstances, they will come to you, but you still have all the power to react towards that. People only take advantage and abuse those who stop making choices about the things that I've said above, meaning that you stop making choice about yourself, you stop making choice about God, you stop making choice about being happy, because when you have made a choice to be happy, anything that makes you unhappy, you eliminate it. Okay, so people will take advantage of you, people will abuse you, because what you have done is you have surrendered your ability to make choices, and you have given it to somebody else, and that person now is in charge of your choices that you are supposed to be making. So you need to think now, before you even apply any of the things I've spoken about here. Ask yourself a question and say, what are some of the choices that you have made recently? What influenced those choices? If you knew better, what would you change about those choices that you have made? And the next thing that you need to do after you've answered those questions is to say, what are the choices are you going to make now to make sure that you rectify the choices that you have made previously? After all, it's all about the choices that you can make. That is me, Pastor X, Marriage Affairs. And remember to click the button right at the bottom here that says subscribe so that you can be able to get more content as we put it onto this platform. And also, if you would like to make a booking for a one-on-one counseling session, you can do that on our WhatsApp line, which is 08333 And also, if you would like to be part of our seminars, you can text the same number, or if you want to buy any of my 24 books, audio books, you can do that at the same time. Well, I've started a trend where every time you listen to this and I give away something. So if you are listening to this for the next week of posting this, you are entitled to get my book, which is called Relationship Amnesty. But it's only for the first 10 people to be able to send us a text. And you can learn something there. It's going to help you in terms of pushing you to the right direction with the choices that you need to make. That is me. God bless you and have a lovely time.